parallelogram. हाँ भाई, कॉल मेरे को भैया तुरंत कभी भी कर लेना। अगर मेरा फोन नहीं उठेगा तो मैं कॉल बैक कर लूंगा, मेरे को मैसेज ड्रॉप कर। Okay, so we were talking about cross products and we had arrived at a very large expression. Okay? I don't even remember what it was. I don't want to remember what it was because I have a better way of arriving at that answer which we talked about last time. The better way involves a new mathematical concept. Some of you may have seen this, some of you may have not seen this. The concept is that of a determinant. Now, a determinant in mathematics is so important that in your math syllabus, there is a separate chapter called determinants and matrices. I think you'll be doing that in class 12, not in class 11. We need some knowledge of determinants, which is very easy and which I will tell you. So a determinant is a mathematical structure where objects are arranged in rows and columns. For example, A, B, C, D. This is a mathematical structure where things are arranged in rows and columns. If I decide to enclose this structure using square brackets, then this thing is called a matrix. There are mathematical operations that can be done with matrices. Okay. Matrix is singular, matrices is plural. So there are mathematical operations that can be done with matrices, but an individual matrix is basically it. Basically a collection of objects जो कि एक ordered way में written है, and that's it. आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Whereas the same collection of objects arranged in rows and columns, but this time enclosed not in square brackets but by vertical straight lines, is called a determinant. Okay. We are not going to be interested in matrices for now. We will only look at determinants for now. Okay. So I'm going to the next page. This determinant, which contains 2 rows and 2 columns, unlike a matrix, can actually be solved, right? So this is a mathematical object which has a further step which reduces this mathematical object to a more simplified version of this. So you can say that the value of the determinant, can be found. आप वैल्यू ऑफ द मैट्रिक्स नहीं निकाल सकते, दैट इज इम्पॉसिबल, लेकिन वैल्यू ऑफ द डिटर्मिनेंट कैन बी फाउंड। अब ऐसा क्यों है, मैट्रिक्स में क्यों नहीं कर सकते, इसमें क्यों कर सकते हैं, ये सब का अभी हमें we don't need to worry about it. We just need to worry about the fact that we have a collection of objects arranged in rows and columns enclosed by straight vertical lines. Then there is a mathematical operation that we can carry out, which we are learning. So what we do is we go to the top left element. Okay, that is always the key of the determinant. Top left element, and then you cross multiply and you write the value down. So if you cross multiply, you get AD, and then you take the remaining two elements and you cross multiply them, right, which is BC, and you subtract top left element, okay, cross multiplied by the diagonal element, and you subtract with, you subtract the, हाँ अभी आ रहे हैं, मोर देन 2 वाले में आते हैं, लेकिन 2/2 मैट्रिक्स का ये है. So value of the determinant can be found. And for a 2/2 determinant, like A, B, C, D, the value of the determinant is AD minus BC. आया सबको समझ में ना, इसमें कोई किसी तरीके का कॉम्प्लिकेशन नहीं है. इट इज अ वेरी सिंपल एंड स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन. आई अरेंज 4 numbers in rows and columns. You go to the top left वाला number, cross multiply that number with the number which was diagonally opposite to it, and then you multiply the other 2 numbers and you subtract. That's it. That's the value of the determinant. Okay, I'm changing the slide. So what would happen if I have a 3/3 determinant? Okay, so please follow me very carefully now. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Again, the key is the top left wala element. So I go to the top left wala element. But this time, instead of cross multiplying, what I will do is I will attach a plus sign here, then a negative sign, then a positive sign. Okay. So I will go to the top left corner, and to alternate elements in a straight line, I will attach positive, negative, positive signs. You don't really have to write them down. They're just mental markers for reasons which are about to be made clear. So after having designated or after having assigned these positive signs, positive, negative, positive, alternate signs, you go back to the element on the top left hand corner and you strike a line horizontally through that element and a line vertically through that element. Okay, तो आप क्या कर रहे हो, जो टॉप लेफ्ट हैंड एलिमेंट है उसके थ्रू एक हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन बनाएंगे और उसके थ्रू एक वर्टिकल लाइन बनाएंगे. ठीक है, अब मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन शुरू होता है. सो दिस determinant is equal to you will write the value of the top left hand element with the sign that you have attached to it. You will open a bracket. The elements which lie on the horizontal and vertical line that you have just drawn, you forget about them. The elements lying on the horizontal and vertical line that you have just drawn through your chosen element in the top left hand corner, you forget about the elements which lie on these lines. How many are you left with? You are left with 4, right? So this thing that you are left with is actually a 2 by 2 determinant. And you already know the solution to this 2 by 2 determinant. You go to the top left hand corner and you cross multiply, and then again you cross multiply and you subtract. So you will get EI minus FH. Right? ये सारा एक्सरसाइज मेंटली हो रहा है. Then you rub everything out. जो भी आपने horizontal vertical lines बनाई हैं, क्या हो गया भाई? पहले सुन तो लो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, फिर क्वेश्चन. Then you go to the next element. You go to the next element and you write down this element with the sign. So you write down this element with the sign and you open brackets. And again you draw a vertical line and a horizontal line through your chosen element. And once you draw the vertical line and horizontal line through the element that you have just written, forget about the elements which lie on the lines that you have drawn. Then you will end up with again 4 elements, which are the 4 entries of a 2 by 2 determinant. And again you go to the top left hand corner of this. Again you go to the top left hand corner of this, cross multiply, again cross multiply and subtract. So you are going to get DI minus FG. Rub out all the lines that you have drawn. Now you go to your third element and you write down that third element with the sign. Open the brackets. Draw a vertical and horizontal line through your chosen element. Again, forget about the numbers or the objects that lie on these horizontal vertical lines. And just look at the 4 numbers that you are left with, 4 objects that you are left with. Go to the top left hand corner of the 4 objects. Again, cross multiply and subtract. So you end up with DH minus G. So this is the value of a 3 by 3 determinant, right? Now you may ask, यार इसका क्या जरूरत है? हाँ, it is actually similar to that cross multiplication of the formula, yeah. Now you may say, कि इसका क्या requirement है? So I told you that I have a better way of solving the cross product wala thing, right? So I'll go to the next slide now. Please take a screenshot of this. I'm going to the next slide. We can only solve 2 by 2 and 3 by 3 determinants. उसके अलावा कोई आएगा तो पार अपन नहीं कर सकते. So if the vector A is equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap, the vector B is equal to bx I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. Then A cross B is equal to the value of a determinant. The first row of the determinant must necessarily be I cap, j cap, k cap in that order. The first row must necessarily be I cap, j cap and k cap in that order. The second row must necessarily be the coefficients of I, j, k of the first vector. So I'll get ax, ay, az. And the third row must necessarily be the coefficients of the vector b, bx, by, az. Right, so let's start solving a determinant. Those of you who could not follow the last slide, please look again here. I will carry out the complete procedure once again with all the steps. To solve a 3 by 3 determinant, you always go to the top left-hand side element. You assign a positive sign to the top left-hand side element, and you move in a straight line, alternatively assigning positive and negative signs. Okay, you go to the top left-hand element, you assign a positive sign, and then you go along a horizontal line, and whatever elements you encounter, you will assign positive, negative signs to these elements in an alternating fashion, alternating manner. You again go back to the top left-hand element and you write its value. Okay, you write its value and you open up a bracket. You draw an imaginary horizontal line and a vertical line through this element. All the objects which are lying on this vertical line and horizontal line are to be neglected. You will find that there are 4 elements remaining. So you must go back again to the top left-hand entry of the 4 elements remaining. Cross multiply this by the diagonal object and subtract by the cross multiplication of the other diagonal. So in this case, I end up with A, Y, B, Z minus A, Z, B, Y. Yeah, get rid of all the hypothetical lines that you have drawn. Go to the second element on the top line, write its value with the sign, open up brackets, draw a vertical line and a horizontal line through the chosen element. Forget about the objects which lie on these vertical horizontal lines that you have just drawn. You end up with 4 elements. Out of these 4 elements, you go to the top left wala element again, cross multiply and subtract it with the cross multiplication of the other side. So you end up with here A, X, B, Z minus A, Z, B, X. Get rid of the extra things. Go to the third element in the top column, top row. Write its value with the sign. Open up brackets. Draw a vertical and a horizontal line through the element that you've just written down. Forget about the objects which lie on these horizontal and vertical lines. You will end up with 4 elements which are free, which have not been neglected. Go to the top left-hand element of these 4, cross multiply, and cross multiply the remaining 2 terms and subtract. So here I end up with AX BY minus AY BX. Right? And this gives me the value of the cross product. End of story. Can you please compare this expression with the expression that we derived last time? Look in your copies. Is it the same expression or there is something different? It is exactly the same. अरे भाई मेरे तो माइनस जे कैप कर देना, जो ओरिजिनल एक्सप्रेशन था जो लास्ट टाइम हमने डिराइव किया था, प्लस जे कैप इनटू समथिंग था, माइनस जे कैप इनटू समथिंग है. ये दोनों सेम है या नहीं है? They are the same or not? They are the same, yes, absolutely the same. So you don't really have to remember the value of the cross product. You just have to remember the procedure that I have just told you. And the best way to remember this procedure is to have a couple of tries. Find A cross B if A is equal to 3I cap minus J cap plus 2K cap. B is equal to minus 6I cap plus 2J cap minus 4K cap. A is equal to 8 I cap plus 2J cap minus 6K cap. B is equal to minus 4I cap minus J cap plus 3K cap. Take your time and tell me the value of A cross B. सिली मिस्टेक नहीं होनी चाहिए. सिली मिस्टेक क्या होती है? प्लस माइनस गड़बड़ हो जाती है. मल्टीप्लिकेशन की गड़बड़ हो जाती है. नहीं भाई, यही आंसर टाइप कर दो ना, आई जे के टर्म पे. You don't even have to write IJK, just send me 3 numbers. Just type 3 numbers. That should be the answer. है? पक्का है ये? ऐसा ना बोलो. $24 I cap plus 12 I cap plus 24 J cap. Okay. 0 minus 24 12. अच्छा, K में आ रहा है क्या? 18 I cap minus 2 J cap minus 8 K cap. Minus 8 0 comma 24. Minus 24 J. भैया सब लोग प्लस माइनस में गड़बड़ कर रहे हैं. आराम से करो, आराम से करो, आराम से. कोई जल्दी नहीं है. I will go back to the previous slide. Okay, you want me to go back to the previous slide? या याद है? चैतल, आर्यन, महक और जोहेब ने सही आंसर अभी तक दिया है, जो मुझे लग रहा है. खुशी ने भी सही आंसर दिया है. हार्दिक ने भी सही आंसर दिया है. एक और सही आंसर था लेकिन वो चला गया. मैं पढ़ ही नहीं पा रहा हूँ, इतनी तेज आप लोग लिख रहे हो. अद्वैत ने सही आंसर दिया है. जशित ने सही आंसर दिया है. गलत है, ये गलत है. गलत, गलत, गलत. यश ने सही आंसर दिया है. और क्या होता है सोनल? मैथ्स कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग? पार्थ ने सही आंसर दिया है. अब सही आंसर बी का. क्या बोल रहा है भाई कृष्णा? ऐसा ना करो. नहीं, ध्यान से करो. बी. अबे दोनों तो नहीं होंगे ना हार्दिक भाई, मतलब मैं इतना अनलकी थोड़ी ना हूं. महक, फिर से वही आंसर आएगा. दोनों का सेम आंसर है. दोनों का सेम आंसर है और दोनों का 0 है. अरे ट्राई किया दोबारा? हाँ, लग तो रहा है, सब लोग तो यही बोल रहे हैं, दोबारा ट्राई करो। ऋतुपर्णा, पक्का दोनों का 0 है? आर यू श्योर? Oh, chalo. Now look at the. I will solve this for you. I will solve this for you. And the solution is that this is a trick question. I was just playing with you guys. The reason is that if you look carefully, then the vector B is minus 2 times vector A. And I was hoping somebody would figure out. And if vector B is minus 2 times vector A, then what is the relation between B and A? What is the specifically what is the relation between the direction of B and A? Agar vector B is minus 2 times vector A, then what is the relationship between the direction of the two vectors? The angle between the two vectors is 180 degrees. They are in the opposite direction. Or I can call them anti-parallel. Okay. So the cross product of parallel vectors is 0 and the cross product of anti-parallel vectors is also 0. Right? Sine of 0 is 0. Sine of 180 degrees is 0. So the cross product of parallel and anti-parallel vectors is always 0, just like the dot product of perpendicular vectors is 0. Now look at the second set of vectors. And look at the second set of vectors. Are they related in a similar way as the first? Look at the second set of vectors. Are they related? Yes, they are, because in this case now, vector B is equal to minus half of vector A. So before you carry out a cross product, you must first look at the two vectors and make sure that they are not multiples of each other. If they are multiples of each other, then the answer of the cross product has to be 0. Okay, so I'm just playing with you. I knew that the two answers will come out to be 0. You did not have to carry out any calculation to know that the answer is 0. Right? And I will play a similar game with you at least twice during the 2 years that we are together. And I hope that when this happens again, you will remember that before finding out the cross product of two vectors, you must check whether the two vectors are multiples of each other. Okay, right? आया ये सबको समझ में? अगर वेक्टर दो दिए हैं, क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट निकालना है, दोनों एक दूसरे से एक न्यूमेरिकल फैक्टर से, पॉजिटिव हो या नेगेटिव हो, न्यूमेरिकल फैक्टर से दोनों एक दूसरे से अलग हैं, तो क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट विल बी जीरो बिकॉज दिस वुड इम्प्लाई दैट द टू वेक्टर्स आर आइदर पैरेलल और एंटी पैरेलल टू ईच अदर. चलो ओके, बहुत हुआ मजाक. A is equal to I cap minus 5j cap plus 2k cap. B 3I cap plus j cap minus 4k cap. Find A cross B. Good, yes. Now all of you are agreeing with the same answer. Yes, good. -10 स्मिथ, एक बार फिर से चेक करो. बीच वाला टर्म गलत हुआ है दो तीन लोगों का. -5, हाँ. I J K 1 -5 2 3 1 -4 will be equal to I cap -5 -4 -2 minus j cap 1 -4 minus 2 and 3 plus k cap 1 into 1 minus -5 into 3. Right? So the answer must be 18 I cap plus 10 j cap plus 16 k cap. ये आ रहा है सबका? जिसका नहीं आ रहा है प्लीज चेक, इसलिए मिस्टेक हो रही है। हाँ और क्वेश्चन दे रहा हूँ, एक मिनट। फाइंड A cross B dot A and A cross B dot B for the given A and B. So basically यहाँ पे जो आंसर आया है ना मेरे पास, ये जो आंसर आया है, हाँ जीरो आएगा बट ट्राई इट आउट, ट्राई इट आउट। सो इसका डॉट प्रोडक्ट लेना है हमें इसके साथ और फिर इसके साथ। टेक द डॉट प्रोडक्ट, take the dot product, mathematically convince yourself that you are actually getting a zero in both cases. Take the dot product of the final answer that you have obtained with A, take the dot product of the final answer that you have obtained with B. अरे मैंने उल्टा लिख दिया, इसका निकालो पहले, फिर अलजेब्रा वाला करो। यही क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट निकालना है और क्या करना है। कहाँ डॉट बनाया, तो क्वेश्चन में गिवन होएगा ना कि डॉट प्रोडक्ट लेना है, या डी में डॉट बनाया है ना मैंने, डी में तो डॉट है ही है। ए क्रॉस बी डॉट ए क्रॉस बी एक वेक्टर है और उसको अपन डॉट प्रोडक्ट ले रहे हैं विद वेक्टर ए क्रॉस बी डॉट ए। ये वर्कआउट करना है। हाँ, D वाले क्वेश्चन में both should be zero. You should be now convinced that A cross B is a vector which is perpendicular to both A and B. E वाले का क्या आंसर आ रहा है भाई? वर्कआउट किया सबने? कुशल, एक नंबर नहीं हो सकता है ना उसका आंसर. You cannot have one number as an answer, right? Minus 11 I cap, right? Minus 11 I cap फिर क्या आएगा? हाँ, बिल्कुल सही. Plus 37 J cap plus 10 K. Yeah, na? So we don't need to remember that big formula which we derived in the last class. So I just want to now tell you the physical meaning of A cross B. So if this is the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis, and we have a vector A somewhere here, we have a vector B somewhere here. ठीक है? तो ये वेक्टर A और B एक पैरेललोग्राम बनाते हैं. ठीक है? पैरेललोग्राम का एरिया क्या होता है याद है किसी को? मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहा. पैरेललोग्राम का एरिया क्या होता है याद है किसी को? हाँ. So if this is B and if this is A and this is the parallelogram, then the area of the parallelogram is this length multiplied by this length, right? ये H है, ये B है. Yes. So mod of A cross B is equal to the area of the parallelogram formed by A and B. So please notice, this is the vector A cross B. The direction of A cross B is a separate matter. The direction of A cross B is found by the right hand thumb rule, and this is the direction of A cross B. The direction of the green arrow is the direction of A cross B. But the magnitude of the direction, the magnitude of the vector A cross B is equal to exactly the area of the shaded region. Right? So the length of the green arrow, is equal to area of the shaded region. Right? So physically, A cross B is the area of the parallelogram formed by A and B. Right? So the parallelogram के लिए हम बेसिकली सब कुछ निकाल दे रहे हैं. पैरेललोग्राम का एक डायगोनल जो होएगा वो a प्लस बी होएगा, दूसरा डायगोनल a माइनस बी होएगा, और जो पैरेललोग्राम का एरिया होएगा वो मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ a क्रॉस b होएगा. वो मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ a क्रॉस b होएगा. Right? So this is the physical meaning of A cross B. Now I want you to अरे क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है भाई? Magnitude of A cross B is height of parallelogram. क्या बोल रहा है? So now we want to find the next operation is scalar triple product. Okay, so what we want to find is A cross B dot C. ये anybody can guess ये क्या होएगा? Anybody willing to take a guess ये क्या होएगा? A क्रॉस बी तो वेक्टर है ना, और C भी एक वेक्टर है, डॉट प्रोडक्ट ले रहे हैं तो ये एक नंबर होगा. और ये जो नंबर होएगा इसकी वैल्यू अपन कैसे निकालेंगे? इसकी वैल्यू अपन ऐसे निकालेंगे. इसकी वैल्यू डिटर्मिनेंट से निकलेगी, लेकिन अब डिटर्मिनेंट में आई कैप, जे कैप, के कैप का कोई एंट्री नहीं रहेगा. अब डिटर्मिनेंट में जो 9 नंबर हैं वो इन 3 वेक्टर के 3 कंपोनेंट के वैल्यूज रहेंगे. इसका मतलब वो 9 नंबर रहेंगे जो इन 3 वेक्टर से एसोसिएटेड. Right? This is how you find the scalar triple product. So 2 things are to be remembered here. The